Joe Burrow and the Bengals are back in town, and no, they have no plans to deal with the Super Bowl hangover. Hi again, everyone. I'm James Rapien of allbengals.com and Cincinnati Bengals Talk. Welcome in to CBT, Cincinnati Bengals Talk, here on YouTube. Thank you so much for subscribing. And if you haven't, well, you hit that subscribe button so you can get all of our latest content, including exclusive video from Bengals OTAs, off-season work. You want to see Burrow to Boyd, Burrow to Chase, Joe Mixon running behind Frank Pollock's new Glass Eaters. You can do all of that right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk, where we're going to give you coverage that you're not going to get anywhere else right here on YouTube. And let's dive in, because Joe Burrow met with the media on Tuesday for the first time since Super Bowl 56. And it had been quite some time. I mean, February 13th was a long time ago, and Burrow was probably shell-shocked at the end of that game and having to talk with the media. I know it was a lot to process for all of you. Hell, you might not have even watched Joe Burrow after meet with the media after that, and totally get it, understand it. But he met with us again on Tuesday. We posted the full video here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk, and he was funny, he was entertaining, gave us an idea of his mindset, and I'm going to talk about that in just a second. But the thing that I liked about Burrow the most is he was like, I watched the game the next day. I treated it just like any other loss. It wasn't any other loss to you. Even me, it was hard to process that night and try to write about it and try to do enough and all of these things, because there's so much buildup going into a Super Bowl. I had never covered one. And so there is a lot that goes into it. And the fact that he's like, yeah, I watched it. And he was asked about different things. And I'll play a couple clips here for you. But this dude's a robot. And so when you hear people say, oh, they're going to take a step back, or, oh, they're not going to be as good, or, oh, that was a fluke, or all of those things, it happens a lot in sports. Certainly happens a lot in the NFL when you're talking about teams that lost the Super Bowl getting back there and getting back to the playoffs and making another run. And to me, Joe Burrow has the right mentality to do that. Real quick, before we dive into that mentality, the last play, we've talked about it here, Jamar Chase streaking down the sideline. Burrow was asked about it and gave the most Burrow answer ever. But there is a little bit of detail to this one because, well, that play wasn't the play called in the huddle.
Yeah, I checked to that go route. I was anticipating throwing it, just didn't quite have the time. So, like I said, we put this behind us. We lost. We had a great year. We're going forward.
So close, right? And Burrow checks to that play on the biggest stage, 4th and 1 on the Rams' 49-yard line, 43 seconds left in Super Bowl 56. Like, no fear, and you want that. You want that dude that's walking around like, hey, here we go. Jamar, you ready? Go deep. You want that. No doubt about it. And you give him another half second, a second max, we're probably having a different conversation right now. But it's certainly something the Bengals can learn from. And the other thing Burrow did that stood out to me before we get into the mindset, he did praise the offensive linemen that they added. Ted Karras, La'el Collins, and Alex Kappa. All three guys clearly upgrades at their respective positions. And the Bengals excited about it. Joe Burrow certainly excited about it. But to me, the mindset part is what I love about Burrow. The fact that this dude, the week after the Super Bowl, that week, watches the game on the flight home from Los Angeles. And, they had lost. He had suffered that sprained MCL. He worked out that week. Now, he probably wasn't doing running and jumping and stuff like that, but this dude was already working out again. And I love that. It's and not because he's on the Bengals or anything like that. Like, I love professional athletes that are all in and do everything they can to be in shape. And I thought Burrow looked to be in an even better shape than he was a few months prior when I saw him in person on Tuesday, and looked good on the field as well. Same zip that you're expecting, hit one deep ball to Stanley Morgan Jr., and that mindset, that's what's going to carry him. I asked him, what are you going to improve on? What's next for Joe Burrow from an improvement standpoint, because last year he was rehabbing and he was also working on the deep ball and his velocity. That was such a big topic, right, during camp, on this channel, on allbengals.com. Well, he's working on a little bit of everything.
And really, it's just my entire game at this point. You know, I'm tweaking little things here and there, and you know, at this point, I'm not gonna have a big overhaul of anything that I'm doing. I'm just looking to refine, you know, my entire game as a whole. I gave myself about a week to recover. I didn't do much for about a week, and then I was back at it. You know, I'm not the kind of guy that wants to take a month off and sit on the couch and watch TV and get fat and all that. I'm happier when I'm working out, and you know, that's what I do for fun. So, and we got right back at it.
You love it. You love it because you want him to take that next step. Comeback player of the year, this close to being Super Bowl MVP. And I think that's what he ends up being. I know people would say T. Higgins, but if Burrow makes that throw to Jamar Chase for the game winner, I think Burrow ultimately becomes Super Bowl MVP. With that said, didn't happen, obviously, and I think that there's a chance the Bengals make another run at it this year. And it has to do with his mindset. And I want you to listen to this clip of Burrow in just a second and let me know in the comments what you think. Because I hear this, and this has got to be music to your ears if you're a Bengals fan. And, you know, the rest of the AFC North and fans, they're going to mock this. But this is the mentality that the Bengals need, that champions need, that every franchise is looking for. And you'll hear that in just a second. But I got to tell you about Rivertown, Inkery. Look, if you're looking for quality, high-end shirts to represent the orange and black, to represent the Bengals, maybe you want a glass like this, which it's morning time, but I probably should have put some bourbon in this bad boy. A Tiger Rocks glass. You can get that. You can get their football bootleg long sleeve tee, their Tiger Stripe tee that Jake Lisco and I partnered with Doug with, Joe Goodberry's Bengal Brain shirt, Fighting Tiger hat, Cincy Classic hoodie, all of these different Cincinnati orange and black shirts that are going to represent the jungle, that are going to represent the Bengals and your Bengals fandom. Or you could just get Cincinnati Pride stuff. And there's a ton of awesome Cincy stuff at rivertowninkery.com. They're open 6 days a week, by the way, Tuesday through Sunday, right there in Oakley, about 10 minutes from downtown. If you're visiting, you could take an Uber and then hit up Aglamisi's and all those places in Oakley. Go to Oakley Pub, but you got to check out Rivertown Inkery or rivertowninkery.com. I have a ton of Rivertown swag, and you won't regret it. This shirt, it still looks brand new, right? I've had this thing 6 months, 8 months. It's been through the wash a ton. Doesn't fade, hasn't shrunk, nothing like that. Fits me like a glove. I love it. It's nice and comfortable. You will too. So check out rivertowninkery.com. Back to Joe Burrow's mindset, because I love this. I love this. I love this. I love this. Here is Joe Burrow on the standard the Bengals have for themselves following their run to Super Bowl 56.
I would say we raised the standard in the eyes of you guys and the fans, but our standard has never changed. And coming in here year one, I expected to win every game, and that's how I go into every single game thinking, you know, I'm not going to accept losing.
I'm not going to accept losing. I'm not going to accept losing. That's how he said it. And I know I said it funny from the jump there, but you get my point. I'm not going to accept losing. Is that music to your ears or not, Bengals fans? It is. No doubt it is. It sets the standard. I was talking to a veteran player in the Bengals locker room on Tuesday following practice, and he was like giddy. And he was on defense. He's a defensive player. Giddy at the fact that the Bengals added Alex Kappa, Ted Karras, and La'el Collins. Giddy. He was like, man, I'm so excited for our offseason additions, especially our help up front. And he's like going back and forth. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, man. I was like, it was hard watching Burrow take those hits last year. He was like, man, that dude is a warrior, though. That dude is, he was like, earn my respect. And the other part of it is when you have that mentality, you don't whine, bitch, and moan when you are getting hit like that. These veterans around the league, they're like, man, I want to block for that dude. How do I find a way to block for that dude? I need to get to Cincinnati to block for that dude. I think that's what happened with La'el Collins. He only took one visit. It's not like the Bengals paid him a crazy amount of money. 3 years, $21 million. Reasonable deal for a right tackle, right? Especially someone who you think could potentially play like a Pro Bowler. So to me, Burrow's mindset is where this starts, where this ends. Real quick, let me get to a few other notes before we get out of here. I just want to update all of our CBT Cincinnati Bengals Talk watchers and listeners here. First things first, Dax Hill has agreed to terms with the Bengals, going to sign his rookie deal Wednesday. That is great news. He's going to be the first Bengal to sign his contract as of now. Certainly worth mentioning. Jackson Carman lined up at left guard as the starting left guard in just, again, it was walkthrough, basically a glorified practice at OTAs on Tuesday. Not a shock, but certainly something to pay attention to. Cordell Volson with the second team. Isaiah Prince, Deontay Smith lining up second team tackle spots. Akeem Adeniji lined up as the backup right guard, Volson left guard. So we'll see. I think all those guys could potentially be in the mix, but that's your first look at it as of now. Prince was at right tackle, Smith left tackle, which I get. I get to trying to develop Smith as a tackle. I also think he could end up being in the guard mix. Joseph Ossai had a second procedure to help his healing. He was sprinting and he looked good. Wasn't taking part in team activities, though. Neither was Logan Wilson coming back from that shoulder surgery. Same thing with T. Higgins. All of these guys are expected to be back for camp. Again, they dismiss OTAs mid-June, and then they're going to have about 6 weeks to get back before, and rest up and get healthy before the start of camp. So Higgins was walking around. He was out there. Wilson was going through some drills and stuff, but they weren't doing everything. And so hopefully within the next couple of weeks, hopefully by the end of June, they're cleared to do everything. And then by the time camp rolls around, they can really hit it, all systems go, because that's obviously what you want. But overall, I think this team, they're confident. I was talking to another veteran, and he's like, man, we are talented. And he's a newcomer. We are talented. We are talented. We are talented. And so it's not like he's been there, been in Cincinnati for a long time, or at Paul Brown Stadium for a long time. So he's excited, and I know you're excited, and that's why you got to hit that subscribe button here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk for the latest and greatest Bengals coverage here on YouTube. Make sure you give us a follow on Twitter at James Rapien, at Andrew Fox Miller. Andrew is our channel coordinator. By the way, this dude, I'll call him and be like, hey, man, I'm about to record a video, and we'll talk about it. And I'll be like, all right, I love you. And he just says, okay, bye. Never says I love you back. Either way, I love you, Andrew. Shout out to him, and shout out to you for watching this video. We'll be back with more. In the meantime, make sure you check out all of our videos, including the highlight video from Tuesday's practice. Something tells me you're going to enjoy that. For Andrew Fox Miller, I'm James Rapien, signing off for now right here on CBT Cincinnati Bengals Talk.